Welcome to your Bonus Mackenzie Podcast for 2026, the fourth in the series this year as our event wrap-up. I'm Richard Greer, the head coach and team captain of TeamCPNZ, who have helped a number of people prepare for this event with our coaching, and maybe you too if you've listened to one of our 3 lead-in podcasts. These are my favourite podcasts that I put together, recorded live on the finish line where the legs are still sore but the vibe's still high. As we get underway, I need to say a massive well done to everyone who took part in this event. You stood on the start line with your own goals to either race hard at the front or just to enjoy the day out with family and friends, everyone challenging themselves in their own way. This year, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to share the MC duties with the amazing Stella Maris, cheering everyone home and sharing stories of families doing it together, broken pedals to epic sprint finishes. It was all pretty awesome. To Kerry and her team, you do an amazing job. There was nothing but praise on the finish line for the event that you put on and the team of volunteers making sure that everyone has the best day out. This year, as you'll hear in some of the stories to come, the course had a last-minute change after the riders set off. That the river crossing to make it across the Godley River to the Lilybank station was a no-go. The final braid had become impassable overnight, so after 4 hours of trying to figure out a route, the Swiftwater Rescue team had to make the call that it was impassable as they were being swept off their feet trying to figure it out. The weather was calm and there'd be no rain overnight, so whether it was snowmelt or whether it was just a braid moving in the river, there was too much water to cross. This was especially tough since drop bags and logistics were already set on the other side of the river. Safety is always number one, so the right call was made. And for the athletes to deal with the new plan is always tough, especially when they have to make it back through the rough bluff section a second time. Definitely made a challenging day out. But you did it, and that's often the most rewarding memories that we have when it doesn't exactly go to a plan, but you figure out a way. So congratulations to all involved. These are your stories, from Catherine, who ripped it up around the Merino course, making it home first overall, to Matt Gordon, who completed the Drover after 9 hours and 49 minutes of riding your bike. Enjoy this. This is a pretty fun podcast. Let's go and hear Catherine for a start.
And we're live here at the Mackenzie mountain bike event. Pretty stoked to be here, but also pretty stoked to be here is Catherine. She has completed the Merino 34K event. She was the first female home, but also first home overall. How cool is that?
Very cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun out there today.
Yeah, good stuff. So tell me about your ride. How did it go? Were you nervous on the start line? Was it cold on the start line? What was going on for you?
It was a pretty chilly start. I was a little bit worried when it was 1 degree this morning when we got up, but no, it was good. Start was easy, pretty cruisy from everyone in my group. One poor guy had a flat tyre about 200 metres in, so that was unfortunate. But
I think he ended up getting second. He hunted everyone else down, but you stayed away.
I just snuck in front of them then.
That's awesome. Were you here to kind of ride hard? What was your sort of plan today?
Yeah. I was tossing up whether to do a long one or a short one, so I decided short one, try and earn some diesel tokens for the team. My partner's out there riding in one of the longer ones today. Okay. So my goal was just to sprint it and go as hard as I could today for the shorter distance. Yeah.
So you would have known you were in front. When did it start splitting up that you were sort of no one else with you anymore?
Yeah, so I was off the front. As soon as that guy got a flat tyre, I was on my own from there for the rest of the race. So didn't see anyone until we doubled back and started passing each other, but it was a super cool vibe. Everyone was cheering each other on and yelling, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good stuff. And when you do start coming back past other people, were they close to you? Were you sort of like, oh heck, we've got some work to do here? What was the feeling?
A couple of them were within maybe a kilometre, but I wasn't super worried. I was like, just keep the power down and we can do it.
Yeah. And did you have any sneaky look back? Because it is tricky when you sort of know you're going well and you're sort of, is there anyone else coming behind you? What was the head like? What were you doing there?
No, I didn't look back. I just saw where everyone was at when we turned around, and then I was like, just keep riding. Yeah.
Well done. So is your partner going to win the overall category as well? What's the story there?
So he's in the 90K, him and his mate. They should do pretty well. They should be in the top 5. I think one of them's gunning for the win. They'll probably just help each other out and see how they go. So they shouldn't be too far away.
Okay, well, you've got some bragging rights ready to roll, haven't you? How good is that? Big high five to you. Go and enjoy those bragging rights later on. Well done, Catherine.
Thank you.
With Aaron Hooper, gold medal around his neck. Not yet, but the chances are there's going to be one. Aaron, you had a great ride this morning.
Yeah, it was. It was doing the Shepherd. It's kind of unsure of what it was going to be like, but it was a fun course, fast. Yeah, along the canals, it was just head down, bum up kind of thing, and good fun. And the climb back over Braemar Road was really cool. Lots of ups and downs, so you could really push it if you wanted to, or hurt yourself if that was what was required. But no, it was awesome course. Really challenging as well, but not too hard there. Didn't I'll still be walking this afternoon.
Yeah, that's a chance of that. So you rode the gravel bike today. Really set for a gravel bike, whereas the other way, doing the lap round the lake's pretty rough. So good chance to kind of just hit it hard and go fast.
Yeah, kind of was. I wanted to do a gravel ride down here, so it was kind of the best option without having to worry about going through the bluffs and potentially cross the river. So it was a good chance to give the old gravel bike another blast.
Yeah, good stuff. So how did your race go? Like, you're the first in your age category. I'm not going to say what age category it is, but it's your age category. First time in your age category, aren't you? So how did your race unfold?
It was good. It was it's hard because when you leave the start, you're sort of standing around for a little while. It was a little bit cold, and then that first sort of climb up the road, it's hard to get the legs working, and no one was going too fast. But funny thing, Ollie Pearce, who's a really good rider, he came past up one of the little gravel climbs, going fairly quick, and a couple of other guys behind him. And then he got down past the canals and saw him riding back the other way, and he'd actually got in the wrong race. He was doing the musterer.
Okay.
He's
done a warm up. Oh, right. Oh, well, that's one less you need to worry about.
Yeah. So that was so there's a group up ahead, and I was riding by myself, pretty much all the way, just about to Lake Pukaki. Okay. So sort of there was a bunch behind that wasn't really catching much. So I decided to sort of sit up and wait for them, and at least riding a bunch for a good chunk of it. So that was kind of the plan, was to sort of try and take it as easy as I could, and then once the climbing that started was hopefully the legs were still there and I could keep pushing on.
And they obviously were.
Yeah, not too bad. I sort of was riding with one guy, and we were sort of riding at a nice even pace, and wasn't too hard, but managed to the first real sort of downhill before the last aid station. Managed to get a bit of a gap on him there, and sort of thought, oh, here we go. It's time to try and use what I had left for that bit. But probably the hardest part was the last sort of couple of K before you get into town. It was just sort of a rough, rocky four-wheel drive track, so you're bouncing around everywhere, and when you're getting a little bit tired, it was hard work, but generally a nice ride all up.
Good job, well done. So you're first in your age group, and then sort of top 10-ish overall. It felt like that sort of vibe. So you'd be happy with a good day out. It must be time for a chocolate milk and a lie down.
Yeah, I probably don't feel like a lie down at the moment. I'm kind of still buzzing actually from the whole ride, but definitely a chocolate milk might have to be found somewhere.
Good job. And just on like your weekend here, you did the little shakeout ride yesterday. It looked like there was some good numbers coming along there, just to go and sort of make sure your bike works, have a chat to others about the course and things. Yeah,
that was good fun. It was just a cruisy ride out, sort of Lilybank Road, following the course. Anyway, we had probably close to 50, I think, so there's lots of keen. Yeah, and everyone's just out for a chat and a bit of a ride, bit of a warm-up, just making sure the bike works, the body works, and sometimes even the brain's still working as well. Yeah. So, that was an awesome little ride, and I think everyone really enjoyed it. Yeah. Lots of chat, so it was good fun. Good job.
Well, it sounds like you need to go and ride your bike a little bit more because you've got more to give, so, keep that enthusiasm rolling. Well done, Aaron.
Cheers.
Hall, he's just crossed the finish line. I think he's actually still puffing if we look closely. But Chris, you've just finished the Mackenzie, the muster. You've spent up the lake, then back again. You've got mud everywhere. How are you feeling right now?
Pleased to be finished, Richard. Satisfied. But that was a harder day out than I thought it was going to be. So chalk that one up to experience.
Good stuff. You did mention that I could have done with a couple more training rides. Did you do some training rides beforehand?
I did. I think I did about 5.
Okay. Well done. Also, you just cut in from experience. Is that sort of what you called upon out there as you're sort of battling away?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that. I just decided to go at a pace I thought I could just make it to the finish line. To be fair, I was hurting the last 15 or 20 Ks, but a little bit of experience probably doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that's right. And did you stop at any of the aid stations out there? I heard a rumour that they're pretty good today.
I stopped at the one on the way back just to grab a banana and a refill of my electrolytes. The bacon buddies looked tempting, but then I thought, yeah, if I eat that, it's going to come up for sure, the way I was feeling at that point. So, but super good to have all those volunteers out there and have the options. Yeah.
So pretty much that was a test on how much you were actually racing. It feels like you probably were still putting a fair bit of effort in there to stop for the bacon buddy, put your feet up for a little bit. It's like you're still doing your best you can.
Oh, 100%. I was trying to... My brother's out there somewhere. He said, I'm going to stop and take a few photos and have a big bacon buddy. And I said, well, good on you, mate. But I'll be at the finish line.
I'll be having my bacon buddy at the finish line.
I don't want to prolong the agony.
What was your highlight out there today?
Just all these people getting out there and doing it, Richard, and the beautiful day. Actually, it was nice having I was surprised when I woke up this morning to see the cloud cover. That was nice. I didn't get too hot. A little disappointed to not be able to cross and come the other side, but there's always next year, right?
Yeah, it's part of the adventure, I guess, at the end of the day, isn't it? You can't control it.
Oh, yeah, and, credit to the organisers for taking the safe option. Yeah.
How are you going to celebrate this? What's going to happen next?
I got to ride home, actually. And I'm going to wait for my brother. Then we'll ride home, have a beer, come back for the prize giving. There's a mountain bike up for grabs. That'll be the plan, I think.
Well, just give yourself a little bit of time before you have to ride home. There's probably a pot of chips or something to...
It's a balancing act, though, isn't it? You don't want to rush it, but in about half an hour, I think I might be quite stiff and sore.
That's right. We'll go and put your feet up. You've done well, Chris. High five. Good job. Smithy from Devolved. Now, we've talked to Smithy a few times on our podcast in various forms, and Smithy was pretty much, I'm the guy that does the sponsorship and cheers everybody on, but I don't. But this time you've actually jumped the fence. You've got a finisher's medal around your neck. How good is that?
Got one of these, and peer pressure. Peer pressure is a great thing. Well, you've got to do it, and so how can you not? To bike what we did today, down the canals and out to Pukaki and then back up Braemar Road. Yep. What a beautiful spot, mate. It was amazing, and I had enough battery to get me around too, mate. I'm not going to lie. I haven't done a lot of training.
Okay. Actually, you said none before.
Well, that's not a lot.
Yeah, that is not a lot.
Tell a lie. I biked my bike to the bike shop to get it serviced and home.
Okay, so is that 2 bike rides or 1 bike ride? It's probably 2.
2, mate. I'm going with it, yeah. So, no, Devolved's very, very proud to be a sponsor here again, mate. It's you just look at all these people around here. Where we are, all the wool that we buy comes from this area. A lot of it comes from this area. And so just to give back to those farmers and then to all the people that are biking here too, mate. It's fantastic.
Did you give any high fives out there as part of your ride today, or were you pretty zeroed in?
No, I was very chatty out there, and especially to all the people standing on the corners at the aid stations. And tell you what, I don't think they've seen anyone inhale a bacon buddy like I did when I got there, mate. I was all over that thing, just whoomfa.
Did you ask, am I allowed to, or was it pretty much a...
There was a guy that's down here, a mate of mine, and he was keen to get away because he wanted to get across the line ahead of me, so I just couldn't let him. So we came across neck and neck. So it was great.
You didn't say, could I have his bacon buddy as well?
No, he stopped and got his too, mate. So it was good, very, very good. But like this, you just look around, Tekapo 3 years in a row, it's just chucked the weather on, hasn't it?
100%. Yeah, that's right. It's really nice just to stand here. Lake is calm. There's a mill pond out there. Beautiful day. Hopefully you've got some sun cream going on there.
Mate, 100%. And I know that's disappointing we couldn't get around the lake again, but we don't control nature, mate. But everyone's coming back. They've all got smiles all over their faces and mud and dirt. And those guys that did the drove, guys and girls that have done the drover, mate, I take my hat off to them. They're athletes, So, no, very, very good weekend, mate. Love it.
So I guess the need to ask the question is, should I ask this question? Will you be back? What's the story there? What's Smithy's plan for next year now that you know that you can do it?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing, mate. Now I know that the battery work, I'm back. I'll come back again. And if we can get around the lake, I'll probably do the lake one next time, mate. Because it's only another 10 Ks and I might go to the service shop twice. And that's 4 rides, mate.
Yeah, good stuff. How much battery did you have left at the end?
I planned it pretty well. Yeah, I was just down to 1 bar when I come across. So I probably could have gone a bit harder.
Just left a little bit out there. Okay, that's good to know.
Because one of the things about buying wool up here, I know those roads, so I knew that as we're going down the canals, it was all pretty much downhill, so I didn't use any battery along there. But I knew we got to the corner of the Hayman and the Braemar Road, there was some work to be done, and I needed battery.
Okay.
And so I started with 4 bars at the bottom, and I got to the top, and at the aid station we're down to 2. So, mate, and then so the budget went well on power.
Yeah, good stuff. Probably one of the biggest challenges of only doing those 2 training, we'll call them training rides, is your butt still in one piece, sitting on the seat for like 4 hours or so?
Well, that was the thing, mate, and I'm going to have to talk to the team at Balmoral Station, because that last couple of Ks as you're coming across the paddock was the bumpiest bit. So I'm going to talk to Sam and those guys and say, put a roller over it, mate, because it was no good on my butt and stuff, because it was no good.
Okay. There's a good bit of feedback. That's important to share. That's good as a sponsor to make sure you direct feedback direct to the farmers.
Yeah, right, mate. I'll be into them. Don't worry about that.
Well done, Smitty. High five.
Cheers, mate. Talk later. Thanks.
And with Sarah, how big is that smile? How happy are you to be here, Sarah?
I'm so happy. A finish line is always very sweet, and getting over those last few hills, I was definitely looking forward to that finish line.
Yeah, good stuff. So in the lead-in, like you'd say if you were to pick a sport, you'd say that you're a runner. Would that be fair?
100%, yeah. Not a biker.
So you're a biking today. So how was your bike ride today?
My bike ride was actually fantastic. I've actually never done a cycle race before.
Your debut. I need to give a high five for that. Yeah.
So I was actually quite nervous. I mean, it's still quite a male-dominated sport, if you see it looking around here. So I've always been really intimidated by the strong males, to be honest.
I think it's just a bike gear thing, is it? Is that what it is? Why do you think that is? Because there's no reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Maybe it's the mechanical side of the bikes. Like, if you ask me anything about the bike,
Maybe men have generally just got bad knees. Maybe that's the thing, and that's the only thing that they can do.
yeah, they can't run, they can bike. Yeah, so first bike ride, nervous, did the maybe rookie thing of putting cleats on for the first time.
So tell me about that as well. I needed to talk about that. So these cleats, so you haven't used them, you used them like a week or 2 ago for the first time?
Like 3 days ago. Okay. I was going to use them earlier, but realised the shoes didn't have the cleats on them, so that's how much of a rookie I am.
Okay. These shoes that I've got actually need cleats to attach to my bike. Okay, right. So got that sorted. So and then how did that go for you? Because it takes a bit of learning to clip sideways rather than sort of up and out.
Yeah. So we've had a wee practice in Habner, lucky enough. First ride sideways fall, second ride no falls. Okay. So today was third ride. And it was pretty good until it got to the river, and then I tried to commit to something and then hesitated. And then bounced sideways.
In the river?
Not in the river, in the gravel bank river. Yeah.
So skin? Have we got all your skin?
My hand's a little bit sore. It's fine. And then struggled for 20 k's to get the cleats back on.
Clipping in become an issue because
river. I don't know why, but I just couldn't clip them on for 20k. So that was just something. And then finally one clicked in, and then someone else helped me clip the second one in, and the last 20k's got them in.
It feels like you're quite attached when you can't kind of click them in by yourself. Like, what happens if you can't click them out? If that was the case.
Oh, they clipped out pretty well when I was trying to. That was good. It's just and luckily at the wide ones, so I still had something to push on.
Okay. Well, making it work. That's the story. And did you stop at any of the aid stations? Because you're a pretty competitive person, I would say. But today, because it was your first bike race, did you try and just take it down a notch, or will that red mist come in as like, I'm just going to go as hard as I can?
Well, I decided initially I was going to be real cruisy, so I did stop at the first aid station, had a scone, had a yarn, and then I was like, oh, should I try a bit harder? Because these people have just passed me, and I want to pass them again. So I was like, I'm not stopping. And so I didn't really stop too much after that. I did stop on the way back for the bacon buddy, and I put it in my little wee pocket and just ate it as I biked. So.
That's a clever option, is not to have the bacon buddy on the move, and you're able to ride bacon buddy on the move, not falling off, keep it up.
Yeah, it was like a disintegrated bacon buddy, but it still tasted good.
Good stuff. So bike race number 1 is down. Is this going to be a thing? Are we going to do number 2 at some point? Or are we kind of one and done? Where are you feeling about that?
Well, I want to get more into adventure racing, and biking's always been my weak point. So I think I need to. And it's also good for if you have any running injuries.
Good. So you'll definitely be back by the sounds of that.
Yeah, definitely back. And I think maybe next year come and try and get a PB.
Well, with the bacon buddy stop and the scone stop, etc., you've obviously left a bit of leeway there as well.
Exactly. And then, I could get a new gravel bike.
Good. It's just N+1. Well done, Sarah. You've got the lingo. You know what to do. Well done. Go put your feet up. Charlotte Lucas. Charlotte, how pleased are you to be off your bike right now and standing at the finish line?
Pretty stoked to get to the end of that one. That was like the hardest race I've done for ages. Such a far out, the gravel going out and back on that bluff bit was super hard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like today, when you set off, the crew were up the top of the river and they were figuring out a way through the river. Turns out that they got to the final braid and they couldn't get away for you guys to go. They were being swept off their feet, so they had to call it to come back again. So that makes it different from terms of your bike choice, your setup, your tyre pressure and all that sort of stuff. What were the vibes when you realised that actually people are start coming back the other way? What's going on here?
Oh, it's gutted, eh? I was looking forward to some smooth roads, and then we had to go back on that. It's just so jarring on like the gravel bike. Yeah.
But obviously you had the skills to keep it upright.
Yeah, I was nursing it a wee bit on the way out, thinking that would get the gravel smoother tarmac on the way back. And then when it became apparent like we're going to have to go that way back, I was sort of just sent it, like, wasn't worried about punches, like it is what it is, basically.
Just going to get this done, I'm going to back here. And then also, did you know who else you were riding against? Was that something, or were you just kind of riding for yourself today?
There's a little bit of riding for myself. I don't really know any of the girls here, but there was a strong girl who rode with me for like the first 50k, and I got away from her on the hill. Yeah.
Okay. So, but you just don't quite know where they are until they sort of turn around and come back again and kind of suss out where your ride is. So, any sort of key highlights out there for you today, for you reflecting back on your ride, especially since you said it was one of the toughest rides I've done for a long time?
Yeah. Just the length of it, I think. And like it's so slow along the bluff.
And
probably like hitting the creeks is pretty cool.
Fair bit of mud there, splattered all over yourself. That's good.
Yeah. And just like the hills, and it's tough.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And then in terms of how you paced yourself, did you sort of go out the blocks thinking I'm just going to try and follow some wheels and get the first 50k's or so done, or what was your tactics early this morning?
I managed to hold the fast guys wheel. There was 3 of us or 4 of us for the first 10k, and then they sort of gapped me hitting the first canal gravel section. And I think I came in with a plan because it's so long, and I do races that are 3 hours long normally. I just diesel engined it, didn't go too deep, never went too deep all race.
So just knew that okay, well that's too much for me, I'm going to just button this back, I'm going to look after myself. And what was your nutrition plan today? You've got some peanut butter going on there. What was your nutrition for 6 hours worth of?
Like the pure nutrition, like the race gels are awesome.
Right. So in your bottle, what have you got? Race fuel, was it?
Yeah, race fuel, and this race fuel, and then I probably had 7 pure gels. And just this at the end.
So a little bit of peanut butter at the end there. So one of the things with this race is the aid stations are amazing, and the bacon that they're cooking smells amazing. I'm guessing you probably wouldn't have stopped with that, but how did that feel as you rode past the bacon cooking?
Yeah, a bit gutted. I was on a mission, couldn't stop.
It'd be lovely to stop, but can't. How were you feeling as you were coming sort of back round the last bits onto the tarmac and things like that? What were the legs doing?
Oh, the legs are pretty good actually. It felt good. My neck's killing me. My neck is actual sore. But really enjoyed the last couple of K.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And looking good as across the finish line. What would you give out of 10?
Richard's also coming home.
Would you say you're an 8 out of 10? I was looking pretty good, or would you say more like a 1 out of 10? I was pretty shocked.
I'd say an 8 out of 10 actually. Yeah. Actually okay, yeah.
Well, that needs to be goal achieved, and probably a high 5 just there. Well done. Go and put your feet up.
Cool, thank you.
Of the Mackenzie, we've got Team CP legend Shiraz. She has finished the Drover. That's 170 k's of riding your mountain bike, gravel bike, and obviously extra rough this year with the out and back to sort of keep you particularly honest. How are you feeling right now?
I'm quite done. We didn't know that it was an out and back until we saw Sam Shaw turn around. And he came back and I was like, nah, this is an out and back. And I don't know if being on a gravel bike was a good decision. But no, it was the views were just insane. There's no other, this was my first ever gravel race. So to go head first into the Drover, no better way to do it, honestly.
It's a big effort. How did your day go? Tell us about your ride. Were you riding with others? Were you and you must have finished in the podium of the women's as well.
Yes, yeah. So there was a group of us at the very start, and then 4 people broke away, and I was sitting at the back of that group of 4, and I was like, oh, if I push right now, like I'm going to blow up. So I just let go and then picked up someone else, and he came up and we worked together. We caught one of the other women who's dropped off, and then us the 3, we worked together and right until we hit the probably like the 30k mark or the 40k, and then we went up a steep hill, and then it was just me and the lead woman, and then she was really strong on the hills, just blew away from me. So then I hung back with the other guy, and we worked really, really well together. And then once we got onto the farm, that was next level. Like the cliffs was just like, you have to get up and walk, and some of the water was right like at my chest, so I had to just like hike a bike. So it was it was just hold on for dear life. I didn't eat and drink enough because I was really scared about the line. And there was heaps of people out there, so making sure that you're not crashing. And in the end, like Aaron, I was talking to Aaron yesterday, and he said the biggest thing is you can lose like 1 or 2 minutes hiking a bike, but if you then like drop a chain or get a puncture, that's might ruin your race. And I did drop a chain at one point, but I could get it back on quickly and keep going. So it was just like, let's just finish and enjoy it. And it was just hanging on at the end. The last like 40k was just like really nice flowy gravels, and then some tarmac in between, and it was just hang on for dear life.
How good. So you come down and did our back road bike trip only a few weeks ago, and that was like 100 k's a day. How did that go to kind of prepare you for this today?
Yeah, perfect. It didn't, I think because I was concentrating on this, the distance, like that, you didn't realize that I was out there for 7 hours. Like I wasn't really paying attention to that, but I guess probably because I had 3 days of 100k a day, and then to jump on that training, that like use it as training, and then keep going over the next like 2 weeks since had just given me the endurance to just keep going,
to feel strong and actually enjoy that last 40 k's, which is pretty impressive.
No, it was. Couldn't have asked for better training. Like that was probably perfect setup for this.
Good stuff. Well, you need to go and lie down. I'm sure you're due for a lie down. Will that be fair?
Yes, definitely.
And a high five. Good stuff, Shiraz.
Thank you so much.
Just about wrapping up our day. We're here with Matt Gordon. Matt has completed the Drover. Matt, how's the body feeling right now?
Very average. Yeah, very sore. I can feel muscles starting to tense up.
Haven't sat down yet. If you sit down, you might not get back up again. Is that sort of what the feeling is at the moment?
Definitely, I'm too scared to sit down. So, it's going to be a long bit of recovery, I reckon.
But that's right. You've done very well. Cool to be able to make it here.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, it was. I did the Must last year, and I just saw the guys doing the Drover, and I was like, I just got to give it a go. Yep. So that's why I signed up to do it, and I was never to win it or no time in mind, just finish it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it, can I do that? And that's the motivation to get you out of bed in the morning and put those efforts in. And the lead into that, how did you feel like that when your fitness was feeling, so coming into this, how prepared were you feeling?
Fitness was good, but a lot of my training, I guess, had been proper mountain biking, and so you get go up a big hill and then you just get coast down a hill and all that stuff. So this was very pedally. My body definitely struggled with that, to be fair. It wasn't that I was unfit, it was just constantly on the pedals the whole time. Was a different feeling for me.
Yeah, that's right. You were out there for what, about 9 hours, something like that?
9 hours 40, I think, was my end result. So so it was a long day, but I had done some training before that. It was around the 10 and a half hours. So I was confident that I could handle it. It was just, that's my longest bike ride I've ever done though. The 165 Ks or whatever it is to the finish line. So yeah.
That's awesome. And the as part of that that preparation, we talked about simulating the event and making sure that you sort of knew that you could keep doing it. So you actually rode 2 laps of the Coronet Loop in one sitting. How do you feel that set you up for today, like mentally knowing that you could keep going and be out there for that long?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that Coronet Loop, it's definitely a harder ride. But again, there's the downhill, so but mentally it was a lot more demanding to do the Coronet Loop than what it was today. So I had that to fall back on, for the mental toughness, because that's what it was pretty much the last 45, 50K was just keep pedaling, don't worry about anything else, and don't stop was the game plan really to get me home.
That's right. And you mentioned earlier that you went through some pretty dark places. It was getting a bit tough out there. How did you kind of make it through those dark moments when you, maybe didn't want to throw your bike in the lake, but you were sort of wishing you were probably somewhere else?
Well, my darkest moment was probably coming off the first 75K loop that my dad actually did today on the Shepherd there, and actually Rose and the kids are at the other end there, and that sort of just made me realise, well, just don't quit, don't show the boys that you're a quitter, and just get it done. So yeah, that sort of. Then they saw me again as I was coming out of the back end of the race there too. So they were all standing there with their signs, and that last 12 Ks, we were in the hurt locker again, but because you're so close, you're just seeing Tekapo, and you're like, I just want to be there, and then a bit of cheer from them got me through really. So
it's a little bit emotional, like makes you want to make sure you dig deep, because you'll do more for somebody else than what you will for yourself. So pretty cool to have that support out there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, and they made some pretty cool signs, and they don't care if I come first or last or whatever. They just want to see Dad finish. To them, you're the man, really. So that's all it came down to. So.
And family, they just want to know that you're happy with your day. So are you happy with your day?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. There were periods there I was just hating it, but we knew that was going to happen, and we'd trained for that shit was going to hit the fan effectively, and just had to push through it, because, every now and then you'd eat something or see something and you just kind of forgot about it, what was going on 20 minutes earlier anyway. So
and I didn't realise this, but the marathon photography person come and said there's some kids down there with some really cool signs. You need to go and say hi to them, and that was actually your kids, and this was the sign that was held up: smile if you're not wearing any undies. How good is that? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. It definitely made me laugh, and they were into it, so that was awesome. And now they both want to be mountain bikers and all that sort of stuff, and they keep asking all these other events that we're going to be doing, in the year ahead, their kids events and things like that. So it's definitely having an effect on them as well.
Cool. And I heard that there were some kids events going on. I've already been told that they're lining up for other events as well. So that's pretty fun, isn't
it? Yep. So they're keen to do the Waka Kids event. We're going to do the Waka 100, and my dad's also following suit too, and he's going to do the Waka 50, and he was here today as well. So it's 3 generations today have been out riding and getting amongst it. So it's pretty cool.
Well done. We'll go and rest up. All the best for when you sit down. Hopefully that goes well, plan that you can stand up again. But super cool to be able to see you out there and finishing so strong, and seeing the family cheer you across the finish line.
Yep, and thanks for all the support too, Richard. It's been a blast. So we'll crack on and get on to the next events coming up. Thank you.
Well done, Matt. Good job. Of the Mackenzie, Sam Shaw, you've got it home over the 170k on your gravel bike today. First home in 5 hours and not very much change.
Yeah, about 5 hours 20. It was a good day out on gravel bike. The 170 kind of does a really good gravel loop to start with, so you actually end up getting about 90 to 100 k's of really good gravel before you get into like the more janky, chunky stuff when you join on to the muster course. So it's definitely worth taking one for that, but I wasn't expecting the jank today. It was a bit more janky than it was last year, and a lot more fresh kind of rock fall on the track, so it was quite sharp out there. As soon as we got into like the bluff area, it was more just making sure I didn't get a puncture or anything like that, and just kind of staying safe.
Yeah, that's right. I have heard that it was rougher this year. There was a few more injuries this year, unfortunately. Plenty of flat tyres and things, because that new rock fall, obviously they're sharp, aren't they, those rocks? So tough on tyres and sidewalls and things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, real fresh cut rock. So it was actually, it was nearly a surprise didn't get a puncture, but did have a good set of tyres on thanks to Specialized. yeah,
So can I ask what tyres were you running and what pressure were you running as well?
Yeah, I was running Specialized Tracers 50cc gravel tyres, and I was running 25 psi in them. That was expecting last year's kind of course, and with how it was a bit more bumpy, I probably would have run a little bit less, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, good. So that that went well. Got through, made it back there in one piece. How did your race go? Like I've heard from the second place getter, they were riding with you, and all of a sudden they weren't. Like, how did you go? How did you pace it? What was your tactics this morning?
Yeah, so I kind of always just had this plan that I was gonna try and ride to my power zone. So I just set out like that and didn't really worry about getting any help from anyone today. So I just went out the front and was happy to sit there.
Did anyone come through much, and then you go or they're just happy to sit on because you're doing a pretty good pace, and that's probably plenty for them anyway?
Yeah, no one. As soon as we started, I was in front till the end, so no one came past at all. Yeah. So I was happy as for anyone to sit on, and Josh Haggerty he was on a mountain bike, so it's unfortunate. It's not as aerodynamic on a mountain bike, so and we were honking along, so he definitely kept up for a while.
Yeah, he's spending matches, isn't he? Burning some matches as part of that, just sort of sitting on.
Yeah, I did that last year. It's really friggin' hard to sit on a gravel bike, on a mountain bike.
Yep.
And then we got out to Braemar Road Climb, which is just where you're kind of biking towards Mount Cook, and then you turn not facing anymore and start heading back towards here, and there's about a 15-minute kind of climb that lets off and then starts again. And so I just put down like a slightly higher kind of threshold pace up there, and Josh dropped off, and then it was just me kind of setting my pace from there, which is really nice and relaxing, kind of. Yeah.
Nice. And then you're fully solo from then. It's up to you at that stage. How did you sort of pace yourself from then on? So you went a bit harder, and then you'll be starting to catch up the back end of the other events as well.
Yeah. So I had that harder effort, and then I just went back to my kind of like zone 3 kind of state, and then joined back onto the muster course. So we come all the way back to Tekapo, do an amazing loop out there, and then back to Tekapo, join onto the muster's course right when they've started. So I just joined in with several hundred extra people, which is actually really fun, and you're kind of like boosting.
Because it's quite open at that stage, isn't it? It's like it's tar seal, and then it's gravel before it sort of gets tricky up the way. So you would have been through a lot of those riders at that stage.
Yeah, so I basically got through all the masses before we got to anything actually technical. So that was perfect. Yeah, if that was a bit later, that would be quite hard actually getting through everyone. But got through all of that.
And did they know who you were? Did they know that this guy was coming past? So that'd be quite fun as well.
Yeah, that was cool. There's a few people cheering on, and I was cheering some other people on, and it's like more social, and that is quite cool. And and then just started catching some of the faster boys, but couldn't quite get to the front of the actual race. Sounded like those guys were honking.
But that's pretty cool to be able to try and be getting close to that as well. I heard from others that were doing the Drover and other events that because it's the out and back, you do get to see others and you get to kind of cheer them on. So that was happening both ways as well. I hear that there was from the front of the race where you're at, you're cheering on the ones at the back and vice versa.
Yeah, it is quite cool, and a lot of people do cheer you on. And actually had the same experience a couple of weeks ago at Lake Hawea Epic, and you're like, oh, out and back, but it's actually you get to see all your mates and stuff like that, and it's like actually a good course on both sides of the lake, so it's not bad to go and just do that bit there and back.
Last year your story was about nutrition. Didn't do a 100% amazing job. I want you to tell me what your nutrition was this year, but then also was there anything that you learnt that maybe you didn't do quite so well for potentially future races?
I'd say just to start it off, I'd say I got it pretty dialed now. I have Scratch Labs supporting me, so I've got like a lot of, they don't do gels or anything, but they've got like really good drink mix. I kind of like stack them up so they have high carb and electrolyte, and I combine those in each bottle. So I have like 80 to 90 grams of carbs in each bottle. I got through most of them, but not all of it, and then I had some gels, some high carb gels and caffeine gels. So I actually was actually focusing on carb and caffeine today. So I ended up having about 500 milligrams of caffeine, throughout the event, and I didn't hit my target goal of 160 grams of carbs an hour, but I got about 120 or so. But
which is still impressive. That's pretty good.
Yeah, to start out, I was actually getting 160 grams for the first 3 hours.
Okay.
And then I don't train it crazy good, to be honest. Okay. And so it got to 3.5 hours, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it doesn't feel like it's really going anywhere. So,
and that's the other part of sport nutrition, is not making you feel bad as a result of it as well.
So I wasn't like bonking or anything, but I feel like if I ate more, I was going to spew. So yeah, I just kind of eased off on that. And plus it actually got way more janky, like we were saying. It actually gets way harder to eat. So that's kind of, maybe if you're talking about future stuff, that's something you've got to factor in, is that you can't actually reach for your gels or even your bottles sometimes through that rough stuff. So it's kind of like you want to get it all in and then take a break through that. Because that went for quite a while with the out and back.
Yeah, nice. So would you say that as a result of that, you pretty much nailed it in terms of, or is there one thing that I'm going to try and do better next year?
If I had the space, I'd probably take a bottle with just water.
Okay,
because it would be great just to have a little cleanser. Because it just feels like you have so much of that stuff, and it's quite intense, but maybe that gets easier if you train it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you've done well. Well, well done. It's super cool to be able to have a chat to you after last year, and then also you're on our podcast as well in the few weeks leading up. But super cool to, I guess, see your progression as you're riding and how well you're performing as well. So I need a high five. Yeah, great to see you at the finish line. Well done, Sam.
Yeah, thanks, Richard.
Good job.
Yeah, there we go.